Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews and another special ranking video. Tonight, we will be counting down our picks for the top 10 hypnosis scenes in cartoons. These can be animated feature films and cartoon TV shows. So, let's get started with our list. Starting with our number 10, Jungle Book 2, released in 2003. Now, we could have went with the original Jungle Book on this one, for the scene in which Kaa hypnotizes Mowgli. But we find the scene in which Kaa hypnotizes Mowgli's girlfriend Shanti in the second film to be much better, since Mowgli gets to be the hero, even though both have a morbid element to them, in which Kaa, this snake, is wanting to eat these two children. So even though Shanti makes the list at number 10, the reason it's at number 10 is because this character is trying to kill a child.
Excuse me. Might I be of some assistance?
And coming in at number 9, we have GoBots, aka Challenge of the GoBots, from 1985, episode 38, titled The Seer. Now in this episode, the evil Psykill realizes that a seer, a young blind boy named Sean Roberts, can see into the future and can tell them what will happen to them. But when they capture him, he is uncooperative, so they arrange to capture his mother and bring her there. And when he still doesn't cooperate, Psykill hypnotizes Sean's mom to end up getting him to cooperate. Again, this one is lower on our list, due to the fact that Psykill and his fellow villainous GoBots are endangering the life of this child by putting him in this machine and not caring whether it kills him, as long as they find out what they want.
Mom! Sean, you mustn't help them, no matter what they...
But enough of that.
Mom, what's wrong?
She's fine.
I am fine. What have you done to her?
Nothing yet.
And coming in at our number 8 spot, we have Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? From 1969, Season 1, Episode 10, entitled Bedlam in the Big Top. Now, in this episode, a ghost clown is tormenting a local circus, and when the Scooby Gang decide to investigate, the ghost clown hypnotizes them to stop them. The scene in question for this video is the scene in which the ghost clown hypnotizes Daphne. This is such a well-executed sequence. Unfortunately, the only thing that the ghost clown has her do is ride a unicycle. Could have been much better.
Freddy, what is it? Freddy? Where are you?
You will pay attention for a time, and soon your thoughts shall all be mine. Watch the pretty coin of gold, and you will do as you are told.
And at number 7, we have Tangled, the series from 2017, episode 18, entitled Painter's Block. Now in this episode, Rapunzel is hypnotized by Miss Sugarbee to paint a dark tree, in which Miss Sugarbee, being a villain that she is, plans to corrupt the areas around. It is really different in the way that when she falls under her control, Rapunzel's eyes turn completely white. Of course, this being a Disney property, her plan is foiled by the end. One thing that makes this very, very interesting on this list is the fact that the lead actors from the actual Tangled movie reprise the roles in this series. So this is not a Mandy Moore impersonator playing the character of Rapunzel. This is really Mandy Moore, and that helps to make this series stand out.
Well, dear, making difficult choices is a part of life.
Making difficult choices is a part of life.
There, isn't that better?
Much better.
And clocking in at our number 6 position is Galtar and the Golden Lance from 1985, episode 3, titled Mursa the Merciless. Now this episode many confused with an episode in a similar cartoon series, Thundar the Barbarian from 1981, in which a similar storyline happens in that series, Season 2, Episode 3, entitled Island of the Body Snatchers, where a witch named Circe captures Ariel and switches bodies with her. Well, in this one there is a difference. A witch named Mursa hypnotizes Galita to turn on Galtar so that she can get her alone and then she can steal her youth. So you can see how many back in the day mistakenly thought that this episode was attributed to Thunjar the Barbarian, and it was Ariel that was getting hypnotized in this scene and not Galita. This is another one much like Tangled, in which the character, once she goes under Mersa's control, her eyes go completely white, which is highly effective and a very interesting aspect, and hence the reason why it makes this list.
Stay with me, Golita. Stay.
Galtar and I... Bandasar.
No, it's best that you stay here, pretty Golita.
I'm staying, Galtar.
You what?
I said I'm staying. I don't care about the shield. I'm sick of this foolish quest of ours.
But I thought we were a team, Golita.
You were wrong. I'm staying with Mersa.
And at number 5, we have Carmen Sandiego, To Steal or Not to Steal from 2020. Now, this was an interactive movie that was on Netflix, and it had different things that would happen if you made the wrong choice while you play this interactive adventure. And one of the bad endings involved Carmen being hypnotized to be a loyal operative of Vile, the organization that she fights so hard against, which was a very interesting alternate ending to this very cool interactive adventure. Hence the reason why it is as high on this list.
You will steal for Vile as you were trained, forever and ever. Are you ready, Operative?
What would you like me to steal for Vile today, Professor Maelstrom?
I'll fetch my shopping list.
Now, coming in at number 4, we have Batman Hush from 2019. Now, in this adaptation of the famous comic book series, Catwoman is seduced and hypnotized by Poison Ivy to become her personal thief and end up fighting against Batman for her. What makes this scene so interesting is how she is so seductive, and they actually have her hypnotize her by kissing her, which it is the lipstick that Poison Ivy has on that causes Catwoman to go into a trance. And it certainly helps that Jennifer Morrison is playing Catwoman and the lovely Peyton List is Poison Ivy. So with those two actors voicing these characters, that makes the sequence all the more sexy. Hence the reason why it makes this list so high.
No one can resist you. And why would they want to?
That's so true, Kitty. Say, perfect. Perfect. You can go now.
And coming in at our number 3 spot is Dan Versus from 2011, episode 13, entitled Technology. Now, in this lesser-known cartoon series, Dan fights different villainous entities and organizations in each episode. And in this one, there is a CEO of a company named Barry Dittmer, who is wanting to create a robot slave army out of regular human females. And he sets up a meeting with Dan's cousin Elise to make her his first test subject. But Elise is so tough of a girl that she ends up fighting off his robot initially, and looks as though she is going to defy his plans. But the beaten-down robot is not completely down and out, and ends up wrapping its robotic arms around her and places the mind control headband on her, which causes her to become Barry's slave.
I shall obey.
And she eventually attacks Dan and tries to kill him while she is under Barry's control. Of course, she ends up getting snapped out of it by the end of the cartoon.
Would you please terminate them for me?
I hear and obey.
Elise? Where did you come from? What are you doing here?
Eliminating a threat to Mr. Dittmer. Prepare to be terminated.
How does one prepare to be... Whoa! Seriously?
Seriously.
The thing is, having such a tough character get eventually turned into this mind-controlled slave was quite a role reversal for the character, and that's the reason it makes this list. And coming in at number 2, we have Super Friends from 1977, Season 2, Episode 9C, entitled The Mind Maidens. Now in this short segment of Episode 9, which was the third part, Medulla begins hypnotizing the women of the world from one town to the next. When Jaina and Wonder Woman go to investigate, they come across her facility and try to sneak in, but Medulla captures them and uses her will booster to hypnotize them and turn them completely against their fellow super friends. Again, any episode where the villain, or in this case villainess, ends up turning strong female heroines against their fellow compatriots, it is much more of an interesting episode, and that is why this one makes the list.
It seems the famous Wonder Woman will soon be one of us. One of you? The two of you will be possessed by my will booster. And together you will dematerialize the rest of the Super Friends. Go! Dematerialize the Super Friends so that women can rule the world unopposed.
We are with you, Medulla! And in our number 1 position, we have Biker Mice from Mars from 2006, Episode 11, entitled Manchurian Charlie. Now, this series, which is sort of like a mice variation on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a villain named Igor approaches Charlie, who is a tough, tomboy mechanic friend to the biker mice, and uses hypnosis on her to make her sabotage her friends during this race. Again, this is always going to place high on one of our lists, just because it is turning a strong female character against her fellow friends. It is the right way to use hypnosis in an episode, so it's the reason why this incredible episode made our number 1 spot.
Dear lady, you are now quite under my power. You will obey my instructions without question. Is that clear, my dear?
Yes, Master. I shall obey.
So, what did you think of our list? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And while you're by the subscribe button, click that join button and become a Dark Knight fan. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you missed last week's video, click the link above, and if you missed any other videos, click this playlist.